LA rapper Blueface might end up doing some time behind bars for a very long time. The 24-year-old, who never shies away from controversy, has included assaulting a doorman to his resume. And the reason behind it will shock you. Keep watching to find out the scandal that Blueface is trying to keep under wraps from the media. Family and personal life. Before beating the crap out of innocent doormen and releasing top charting singles, Blueface went by the name Jonathan Porter. When he was a child, his mother, who had moved to Los Angeles from Ohio to pursue acting, took him around for commercial auditions. It was fun when I got picked and I was in the commercial and it was like, "Oh, look at the commercial," he said. But I didn't enjoy it as a kid. He stopped auditioning once he began taking football more seriously. Now you need to hear a little about his come up, so it makes sense why the scandal with the doorman assault occurred. A fresh-faced youth who had football aspirations, he ditched that dream for music, and Jonathan never looked back since then. Under a year, he went from contemplating music making to being one of the most talked about MCs in the land. He was born on January 20th, 1997 in Los Angeles, California. As a high school student, he studied at 5 different schools. Later, he attended Fayetteville State University and continued with his sport there as well. However, Porter eventually dropped out of the university due to coaching issues. This is not to say he punched anyone. Blueface has a son named Javon, who has popped up at several radio interviews with his father. In one of the interviews with Big Boy's Neighborhood, Blueface disclosed that his son's mother is a working woman, so his son stays with him nearly every day. After returning from college, he became a stay-at-home dad, caring for his son. The family guy that he is. At some point, he thought he might become a barber and ran an Instagram account called The Fade Room, showing off haircuts and fights. Rapping, football, haircutting, you name it. Our guy's got it all. Blueface is not a tribute to Mystique from X-Men, in case you're wondering. He picked the name to represent both an association with the infamous Crips and the blue $100 bill. Hip-hop has a long association with the street gang, so the choice of name wouldn't be shocking. If anything, he could have easily been Redface, depending on what part of LA he grew up in. Blueface is his street name. He's a member of the Schoolyard Crip gang, which dominated the neighborhood he grew up in before it was his rap name. And for the numerous tattoos, the rapper whose face and body is covered with them revealed that they each tell a different story. The most recognizable among them is his tattoo of Benjamin Franklin on his cheek, which he calls his signature. Breakthrough. The face tattoo rapper broke out 3 years ago with several releases following several charting hits. After dropping out of college, Porter found himself back in LA and hanging out with his friend for a studio session. Then something miraculous happened. He randomly took the mic, rapping for the first time in his life. He developed a polarizing style that incorporated lines that wandered in and out of meter, as well as provocative, ear-catching lyrics, heavy on slang and clever imagery. And just like that, he discovered a secret rap formula. How did it happen? Well, hear the man himself. "I didn't know what kind of sound I wanted to make. I didn't have no influences," he said. "I just heard my voice in the microphone and was like, damn, I like that." One of the results from the miraculous studio session was a track that brought him fame, Dead Lokes, that was in early 2018. He followed the famous track with the hotter one in Tatiana a few weeks later. He began doing tours of high schools and meeting fans at area malls. The shows helped him build a devoted following, and he continued to give the masses new music to keep them interested. It didn't look like it at first, but then it dawned that Blue was bringing democracy back. Keeping it political, Blue started taking polls on Instagram about which high school students were following him the most, then driving to that school and performing an impromptu concert atop his car. He was his own campaign manager. You've gotta love the dedication of this man when he's not putting his fist to work. Mixtape and signing. The famous Crip mixtape, an EP entitled Too Cocky, and a collaborative mixtape with Trend called We Over Famous all showed up before the end of 2018. Blueface gained more waves when he released a music video for his track Respect My Crippin' via Worldstar Hip Hop's YouTube channel. The video was later posted to Twitter, where it became viral, bringing attention to the rapper's high-pitched voice and offbeat flow. Later in the year, Blueface signed with the world-famous Cash Money Records. At this point, it felt like the perfect Hollywood grace to grace story, until the trouble with the law began. Controversies. In 2018, Blueface was robbed as he paid a visit to New Hill, California gas station, and he responded by catching up to the suspect and opening fire. Shortly afterwards, he was arrested. Some guy took some of Blueface's belongings and slid off. In the moments afterwards, the rapper sped through the streets in order to catch up with the robber and engaged in a vehicle-to-vehicle shooting that ended in a collision on the south side of Highway 14. There were no reports of any life-threatening injuries. The famous Crip doesn't back down that easily. The cops, as usual, weren't impressed, and they were right too. Imagine if the police showed up at the studio, shoving Blue out of the booth and rapping his lyrics for him. What pissed him off more was Blue was using a weapon. Despite being identified as the victim, he was arrested that same night and booked at the SCV Sheriff's Station on suspicion of assault with a deadly weapon shortly thereafter. After spending the weekend in jail, the Dead Lokes rapper was released on $50,000 bail. In 2019, Blueface was charged with felony gun possession. The rapper was arrested by the LAPD for carrying a loaded and unregistered handgun. The blast reports that the rapper was arrested with 2 other men after being approached by police standing with a large group of people, some of whom fled and got rid of their guns. The charge for the felony firearms charge comes with a maximum of 3 years in prison. Fortunately for him, his case was thrown out due to insufficient evidence, TMZ reported the following year. The rapper received backlash after he posted a video of himself standing on a black SUV and tossing cash into a crowd of people on Skid Row in Los Angeles. He was making it rain, but some thought the rainmaker was out of line. The 24-year-old rapper posted the video to his Instagram page on Tuesday with the caption, "The season of giving." Although we can't be sure if the rapper fancies himself Black Santa or Crip Santa. Many people took to social media to respond to the video, calling Blueface's actions dehumanizing and disrespectful. He did have Tiffany Haddish on his side though. She didn't see anything wrong with Blueface's antics on Skid Row. In fact, she considered the move a blessing. Haddish, who was homeless herself before becoming a star, went all spiritual saying, "It's a blessing. It's money falling from the sky. It's a blessing. He's throwing out hundreds. He's possibly making it so someone can get a room for the night to stay in so they don't have to be in the cold. You don't know what blessing that might have helped somebody with." Assaulting Doorman. Apparently, Blueface has added combat skills to his long list of repertoire, leaving music making far behind on that list. It was only a matter of time before he picked up a new hobby. The rapper, who started his career gun blazing, hasn't really hit the heights everyone expected of him. He's got plenty of time on his hands to correct that, only that he's been using those hands and battling people. I don't mean rap battle this time, but a beatdown of an innocent civilian trying to earn a living in this cold hard world. The rapper has found himself in hot water, with TMZ reporting that he was involved in an alleged assault against a club bouncer. In their report, TMZ claims that Blueface and 2 others reportedly attacked a club bouncer, which ultimately left the man in need of stitches. Blueface and his people were looking to enter San Fernando Valley establishment Skinny's Lounge on Sunday night, only for the LA rapper to find himself being carted at the door. Blueface noted he didn't have one. He whipped out his phone like the celebrity he was to Google himself and show he was famous. The guards didn't care though, we're told, and wouldn't let him in without proper identification. The report notes that Blueface did not have a piece of identification, but instead opted to pull the "do you know who I am" maneuver. Well, like always, that one didn't work. The bouncers remained unimpressed, according to TMZ. Blueface and 2 others, who had other plans, proceeded to attack the bouncer, which ultimately led to the arrival of an ambulance. Photographs of his injuries reveal bruises, scrapes, and cuts, with one in particular looking deep. A video clip showed Blueface putting his foot to work, stomping the bouncer as the altercation continued. The guy had to be transported to a hospital by ambulance, where we're told he was treated for bruises and scratches that require stitches. It appears a woman in the group was on camera duties, recording the attack on her phone before Blueface seemingly stomps the bouncer. Then, another guy tries to lift him up by his feet while the attack continues. Blueface is the last person seen on video and appears to give the bouncer a couple of taps to see if he's conscious before leaving like the champ he is. Another one of his opponents left to bite the dust. The LA rapper has had his hands real busy these past few months. 3 months ago, he signed a fight for the bare knuckle fighting championship. The music thing seems not to be working for now. He easily won his exhibition fight and even an impromptu second unsanctioned bout. The rapper easily defeated TikTok artist New Main, aka Kane Trujillo, by decision, but then he found himself putting his fist to use again post-fight. Some unauthorized person walked up to Blueface in the ring and appeared to anger him. Blueface connected with 2 rights as the trespasser was being held back by security. This individual perhaps wasn't by the champ's ability. His recent assault on the Doorman makes it a hat trick of opponents in 3 months. We're not sure how many more he can take, but the cops seem interested in his last bout, and they are very much interested in this one. It's noted that a battery report was filed, with an investigation currently ongoing. Law enforcement sources have it that officers took a battery report and they're aware of the surveillance video, so it'll be crucial in the investigation. This is likely to spell doom for the rapper, as the cops will look to ensure he gets locked up. At least he would have a surplus of opponents to battle in jail.